Hello, welcome to the J-Man Movie Review. Here are today's movies. First is Pacific Rim. And if you haven't seen this movie, here's a synopsis. When legions of monstrous alien creatures known as kaiju started rising from the sea, a deadly war began. To combat them, humans devised massive robots called Jaggers as weapons, controlled simultaneously by two pilots. Even the Jaggers proved nearly defenseless against the kaiju. Now on the verge of defeat, mankind must turn to a washed-up former pilot and an untested trainee teamed in a seemingly obsolete Jagger. These unlikely heroes are the last hope against the remounting apocalypse. That's Pacific Rim. Here's the disc. I like this movie because it's full of monsters, and I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Next one is The Last Hangover, The Hangover Part 3. This movie was okay for a finale, but I thought there was going to be part 4 because the hangover scene in the hotel room after Alan and Kathy got married. I thought there was going to be part 4. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. Next one is the Australian musical movie Goddess, with Ronan Keating of The X Factor, Maggie Sabansky of KATH and KIMDERELLA, and Laura Michelle Kelly of the West End Mary Poppins. He also has Pia Miranda from Looking for Ella Brandy in it, Corinne Grant, Dustin Clare. This movie is a good Australian movie, if you like musicals, that is. I give this movie a 4 out of 10. The next Australian movie is KATH and KIMDERELLA. There's Gina Riley as Kim, Jane Turner as KATH, Maggie Sabansky as Sharon, Peter O'Thorne as Brett, Glenn Robbins as Cal, and this movie is shot in Nerula, which is in Italy. This is KATH and Kim Go International. I thought this movie was funny, so I'll give this movie a 10 out of 10. And you haven't seen The Hangover Part 3, I read the synopsis. The Hangover Part 3 is the epic conclusion to an incomparable odyssey of mayhem and bad decisions, in which the guys must finish what they started by going back to where it all began, Las Vegas. One way or another, it all ends here. It's been 2 years Phil, Bradley Cooper, Stu, Ed Helms, and Doug, Justin Bartha, are happily living uneventful lives at home. The only member of the wolf pack who is not content is Alan, Zach Gavranakis. Still lacking a sense of purpose, the group's black sheep has ditched his meds and given in to his natural impulses in a big way, which for Alan means no boundaries, no filters and no judgment, until a personal crisis forces him to finally seek the help he needs. And who better than his 3 best friends to make sure he takes the first step? This time there is no bachelor party, no wedding. What could possibly go wrong? But when the wolf pack hits the road, all bets are off. That's The Hangover Part 3. Is the disc. I already read to you KATH and KIMDERELLA and Goddess. My next movie is called Mental. It's got Toni Collette of The Way, Way Back, Anthony LaPaglia of Looking for La Brandy, Rebecca Gibney from Packed to the Rafters, and Leah Schreiber from Wolverine. I already read this movie lots of times. I love this movie because it's like Sound of Music in Australia. This time the nanny is not a nun, but a hitchhiker named Shaz. The next movie is Parental Guidance. So it's got Marisa Tomei, Monsters University's Billy Crystal, Bette Midler of Hocus Pocus, and The First Wives Club. This one they play grandparents. If you haven't seen this movie, I'll read to you the synopsis. Billy Crystal, Bette Midler, and Marisa Tomei prove that laughter is relative in this hilarious comedy that's fun for the whole family. Old school grandparents Artie and Diane get more than they bargained for when they get stuck babysitting their type A daughters' overprotected kids. But things go from hectic to hysterical when Artie realizes the kids are running the house with their newfangled technology. By playing by his own rules, which include sugary snacks, old-fashioned games, and tough love, Artie manages to outsmart the kids and achieve the impossible, bring the family closer together. That's Parental Guidance. Sorry, it's upside down. Here's the disc for Parental Guidance. Here come the grandparents, there go the rules. My next one is Silver Linings Playbook with Bradley Cooper, an Oscar winner, and Hunger Games star Jennifer Lawrence. And if you haven't seen this movie, read the synopsis. Sometimes things don't always go according to plan. Pat Sultano, Bradley Cooper, Limitless, The Hangover, has lost everything, his house, his job, and his wife. He finds himself living back with his mother, Jackie Weaver, Animal Kingdom, The 5-Year Engagement, and father, Robert De Niro, Meet the Fockers, analyze that. After spending 8 months in a state institution on a plea bargain, Pat is determined to rebuild his life, remain positive, and reunite with his wife, despite the challenging circumstances of their separation. All Pat's parents want for him is to get back on his feet and to share their family's obsession with the Philadelphia Eagles football team. When Pat meets Tiffany, Jennifer Lawrence, Hunger Games, Winter's Bone, a mysterious girl with problems of her own, things get complicated. Tiffany offers to help Pat reconnect with his wife, but only if he'll do something very important for her in return. As their deal plays out, unexpected bond begins to form between them, as silver linings appear in both of their lives. The Silver Linings Playbook, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. Here's the disc. I like this movie because it won an Oscar for Jennifer Lawrence at this year's Oscars. My next Bradley Cooper movie is The Place Beyond the Pines with Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, Bradley Cooper, and Ray Liotta. If you haven't seen this movie, I'll read the synopsis. The daring new movie from the director David Shiverance, Blue Valentine, The Place Beyond the Pines, is a sweeping emotional drama powerfully exploring the unbreakable bond between fathers and sons. A mysterious motorcycle racer, Luke, Academy Award nominee Ryan Gosling, drives out of a traveling carnival globe of death and whizzes through the back streets of Schenectady, New York, desperately trying to reconnect with his former lover, Romina Eva Mendes, who recently gave birth to the stunt rider's son. In an attempt to provide for his new family, Luke commits a series of bank robberies, putting him on a collision course with rookie cop Avery Cross, Academy Award nominee Bradley Cooper. The consequences of Avery's confrontation with Luke will reverberate into the next generation. It is then that their two sons, Jason Dane DeHaan and AJ Emery Cohen, must face a fateful shared legacy. That's The Place Beyond the Pines. I love this movie. Here's the disc. The next one is the Lone Ranger, with Armie Hammer as the Lone Ranger, Johnny Depp as Tonto, and Helena Bonham Carter of Les Mis is in this movie too. If you haven't seen this movie, I'll read the synopsis. From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Gore Verbinski, the filmmaking team behind the blockbuster Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, comes Disney Jerry Bruckheimer films The Lone Ranger, a thrilling adventure infused with action and humour, in which the famed masked hero is brought to life through new eyes. Native American warrior Tonto, Johnny Depp, recounts the untold tales that transformed John Reed, Armie Hammer, a man of the law, into a legend of justice, taking the audience on a runaway train of epic surprises and humorous friction, as the two unlikely heroes must learn to work together and fight against greed and corruption. I love The Lone Ranger. Here's the disc. The second last one is The Way, Way Back, with Steve Carell from The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, Toni Collette from TV Sausages and Mental, Liam James, and it has an all-star cast. If you haven't seen this movie, here's the synopsis. The Way, Way Back is the funny and poignant coming-of-age story of 14-year-old Duncan's summer vacation with his mother Pam, Toni Collette, her overbearing boyfriend Trent, and his daughter Steph. Having a rough time fitting in, the introverted Duncan finds an unexpected friend in Gregorius Owen, manager of the Waterwheels Water Park. Through his funny, clandestine friendship with Owen, Duncan slowly opens up to and begins to finally find his place in the world, all during a summer he will never forget. The reviews say an endearingly sweet coming-of-ager. Peter de Bluge Variety and Peter Travers Rolling Stone says, I rate this dream of a comedy a 10 out of 10. Here's the deal. It's a 10 out of 10 this movie's a 10 out of 10 for me too. And the last movie for today is The Internship with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. This is a movie about Google. I'll read the synopsis. Billy, Vince Vaughn, and Nick Billy, Vince Vaughn and Nick Owen Wilson are salesmen whose careers have been torpedoed by the digital world. Trying to prove they are not obsolete, they defy the odds by talking their way into a coveted internship at Google, along with a battalion of brilliant college students. But gaining entrance to this utopia is only half the battle. Now they must compete with a group of the nation's most elite, tech-savvy geniuses to prove that necessity is really the mother of reinvention. That's the internship. Here's the disc. And this watch is worn by Dan O'Brien, who plays Stuart in the internship. That's a bit of trivia for you. So the movies I'll review today are The Internship, The Way, Way Back, The Lone Ranger, my two Bradley Cooper movies, Silver Linings Playbook, and The Place Beyond the Pines. Parental Guidance, Mental, Goddess, KATH and KIMDERELLA the movie, The Hangover Part 3, and Pacific Rim. That's all for me for today. Bye!